He's got no today. He remember hip hop and it for a grave. Say, ghost member, forsaken by time, eternally disposed member, looking for the wind, he knows where it goes.
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall. Something in my blood.
Hey, y'all.
got to take a hold.
Welcome
What's up?
into another Something in the Water podcast. Here we are, one more time. Uncle Dave Griffin.
Sean Clark. We're here with Nick, the Whistling Butcher Solomon.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Good
it.
to see you, buddy.
Good seeing
to
you.
have you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Folks, this is Nick.
Nick's come into our life, me and Dave's life here recently because he started karaokeing up at, is that what you say, karaokeing?
That's a
The
real
arts of
word.
Is that a word?
karaoke, yes.
That's a real
Webster
word.
recognize?
Just like Googling.
Up at the Boondocks in Brunswick, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, we'll play, and then when we get through, Nick kicks in the karaoke. And we have learned that he is amazing harp player as well as an amazing blues singer.
Well, I'm all right. I'm okay.
He's a harpologist.
And so then he'll get up and play with us a little bit before, and it's great. We've been loving it.
I'm going to tell you something. I had a firsthand audible experience this past Saturday night. Pine Box was playing at Boondocks.
Time Box Boondocks.
And Nick was in the band. And we got there, oh my God, we just walked in. Y'all probably been playing for only about 15 minutes when we got there. But every damn song that y'all played, and I've heard them before. I've heard them in many different combinations, different musicians and stuff. But I'm going to tell y'all, something was special Saturday night. Just a threesome, just a trio.
Really good.
Connor
really
on
good reasons.
cajon, Sean on guitar, and Nick on harmonica. But good God Almighty, and y'all don't rehearse together.
No.
That's it.
The only thing I can come up with is like whatever me and Connor have developed over the years.
Yeah.
Like we play with, not taking anything from me. I'm not going to start naming names here. Or nothing. We play with some talented people, but even sometimes you get with somebody that's really good on whatever instrument they're playing, and you still don't have the.
It's the chemistry.
Like you're hitting on these beats and I'm hitting on these beats. But like with Nick, man, it's like I don't know what you would do on your own because I haven't heard you with anybody else but us. But it's just like you get what we're doing immediately.
Well, I've played with a lot of people over about a 15-year span now, 16-year span. And you learn the chemistry end of it, right? Like when you play, specifically, like even just talking about 12 bar, like if you play 12 bar as many times as I have, like it's instinct. You know where somebody's going. And even, it leads to the rest of the, kind of music theory, stuff. Like you know where somebody's going.
Yeah.
If you can tap into it, And like you guys, like I told you the other night, I've been playing for that long. I've played with so many guitar players, so many drummers, so many bands. And I've never played with anybody who runs me as hard as you guys do.
Man, I feel like we're
No.
pushing. I feel like we're both pushing. Like
Man,
we're
it's
like, oh,
great.
what
Like,
you
it's
gonna
a
do? What you
challenge.
gonna do?
Yeah, I love
I
it.
feel like it's like a.
Here was the end result right here. And it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. That maybe it was that friction. or not friction, but
I felt like it was more of like a dance.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the way it feels.
It was
Because just like we talked about, we did Sweet Melissa that night, and y'all don't usually go into the like the triplets, that you do, like those strums, those hard strums.
Yeah.
And it was just like instinct to go for it, and then you were right behind me, and then me, you, and Connor just went at it. That was it, just like just right into it, and it was primo.
Y'all are have gotten to the point because you're a duo to make up for the lack of whatever bass or guitar or whatever, lap steel, whatever. Y'all have become very percussive.
Yeah.
Your rhythm guitar playing has changed.
Yeah.
And you and Connor are in this whole another bubble right there. But y'all are very dynamic in the peaks and valleys, the crescendos and the drop the bottom out, But he just wove right into that dynamic because he's very dynamic.
Well,
He's very
appreciate
percussive.
And
You have to be on hard.
and
You got it.
he's very percussive and dynamic as well.
I couldn't believe, like, when we do our little fast strumming stuff.
Mexican machine gun.
That's what Dave called it. But you were just like right in there, and like even when we play with some fast players, like guitar players or whatnot, that is always like the test of. I mean, not like but like it's a very simple thing, but like you either get it or you don't get it.
Yeah.
It's not like what we're doing is complicated or anything.
Yeah, but some of them want to go balls to the wall.
It's just the intricacies of the rhythm. It's like you either get that rhythm or you don't get that rhythm. And like you, man, you were all over it. And
Well, I could admit, like one of the first times I met you guys at Boondocks when we played together, and I think one of the first songs we ever played together was that coffee song, if I'm correct. And when y'all went into that, like I was at first like just whoa, okay, we're going this way. All right, let me give this a shot because I'd never done it, like that before. And yeah, it's just been something that every time I play with y'all, I feel like you guys have made me a little bit better, as far as my rhythm and stuff is concerned, and like it's just. I love it. Absolutely, just can't get enough
You're
of that.
damn good. You're damn. We can establish that right off the bat.
Well, I'm all right. I mean, there's so many better harp players out there.
Man, I heard you do some things Saturday night, though. I swear. Me and Rob Dean kept looking at each other because he'd catch them as I did, and we'd just look at each other and said, I didn't know John Popper was in here.
I wish
you did. You did a thing there. You did
I've attempted to emulate John quite a few times, and he is just him and Jason Ritchie are on such a different level.
Jason Ritchie
or Jason, I think it's Ritchie. Yeah,
Who's
that?
He's a harmonica player from like Louisiana, and he is, in my opinion, probably the best harmonica player in the world right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The guy is just amazing. I've some of the stuff he can do with a harp I've never heard done before.
Is he like legendary? Like,
well, so he kind of,
years, or
if I'm correct, and I can't, remember his entire Wikipedia. Like I got to talk to the guy. I had him on my podcast years ago when I was still doing one.
You used to have a podcast?
A long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
It was like Booze, Blues, and Unsigned. So like I would basically be looking for
I love it.
Classic blues or unsigned music, and I would do shows based around that.
How many did you put out?
Oh God, I can't remember. Probably 30, 40 episodes.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
it was fun. I had a blast, and then work and life catches up, and you don't. But I reached out to him about an interview, and he was so kind enough he was on his way from like, I think it was Chicago to somewhere else on a drive. He jumped on the phone for about 45 minutes, and I put the phone, like I didn't have this elaborate setup. I had a wireless phone next to a computer speaker, like, trying to pick it up the best I could. And he's been around since like the late 80s, early 90s, and really found prominence like in the early 2000s. And
Okay.
I mean, he's just out of this world,
Cool.
I mean,
Jason
Ritchie, R-I-C-C-I, yeah.
Oh, Ritchie. Like Christina?
pull it up.
Yeah.
Jason
Can you pull it?
Ricky.
Can we play any of it on here and not get?
See, I don't know any of that stuff. Couldn't tell you for sure.
There'll be some live stuff.
Hey,
He's got a cover of St. James Infirmary, and it is
Oh yeah,
the best.
that's a good song.
I mean, it's a strong enough song that I got it. I mean, I love the song anyways, but I got it tattooed on my arm there.
oh cool.
Yeah.
all right.
A good friend of mine took care of that for me. Yeah.
What's her name? Larissa.
No, I haven't gotten to get one from her yet. I'm planning on it eventually. I've seen the art that she does, and she is
Yeah,
just
she's amazing.
amazing.
She tattooed Dave and I.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. Yeah, I listened to that episode.
those are Larissas. How did that thing go where y'all played at the tattoo shop?
Well, it was rainy, and we had to go from playing outside to being in this tucked around room where nobody could really see us.
Oh,
We
yeah.
were kind of just, playing. They could hear us.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Texas when that was going on, and I was like, oh my God, that looks like it's so much fun, though. I mean, it looks like it was probably a blast.
They tattooed a lot of people that day.
Really?
Oh my gosh. They did it from midnight to midnight on Friday the 13th.
Is this the guy right here?
Yep, that's him. That's Jason.
This is Jason Ritchie.
Yeah.
This is
All right. Hearing something new. I always love to discover something
It's,
new.
man, you know, if you could ever get him booked for like one of those festivals, oh my God, he's amazing. Just one of like the best I've ever heard.
I love facial expressions on a harmonica player. Because you know he's thinking about what his lips is doing.
Yeah, he's thinking about breathing and what his lips are doing. Like,
I don't know how you breathe like that, man. I'd pass straight out.
Dude, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. There's been a couple of times, starting with you guys, I've been like, oh goddamn, you know.
Don't kill him.
Keep that inhaler in my pocket, you know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like he's pushing us too. Like, is that all you got, boy?
Well, I'm not going back down. I mean, I will pass out on stage before I quit.
Don't
all
pass
right?
out.
Don't do it, Colonel Bruce.
I know CP, but I don't know R.
She was liking it.
But see, like, I'd say out of like the greatest harmonica players of the modern era.
What kind of mic is that?
That's a custom mic. I have no idea.
I remember when I was working at the music store, there was catalogs, you know, and every now and then we'd have to order some. There's one called a green onion or something like that.
Green Bullet.
Green bullet.
Yeah, that's,
that's
Yeah,
right.
he's got one.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, never
It's
mind.
all tangled up and
It's,
shit, you know.
This guy's good. And I hear you in that, man.
Shit.
That's the kind of
I'll live on that for a while. I appreciate that.
that's kind
but,
of your style, though.
Dang right.
Oh, that's D-Carb. Yeah, man. He's good stuff too.
He's another one.
I've recently just kind of discovered him a little. Oh, not to see. I didn't discover him, but I mean, I just recently started listening to him a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know he played with Jason. Okay, I've never seen this video.
And Peter Mad Cat Ruth.
Cigar box.
Yeah.
I can't hear him. I can't understand his
Yeah.
singing. I mean, I love that approach
It's
to
probably like a problem with like one man band stuff.
performing and everything, you know, like Shaky Graves and all them one men people that are just, they got the drum, they got the guitar, they got the harmonica, they got the voice. It's like a one man band.
Oh yeah.
Scott expired.
So let me ask you this. Did you, how were you first inspired to pick up this instrument?
Well, so it all kind of it's out of convenience, right? Like, so originally, when I was really young, I can remember hearing the fiddle for the first time, and that was it for me. Like music in general, and then the fiddle. I was like, oh, I want to be a fiddle player. That's what I want to do. I want to play violin. we couldn't afford a fiddle. I mean, we weren't poor. I mean, the floor wasn't dirt, but definitely was sandy. If you know what I'm saying. You know?
Where was this?
This is in Bologna, Florida. You know,
Bologna.
Yeah, just outside Hilliard, Florida.
Right.
And my grandmother, God rest her soul, just wonderful lady. Couldn't afford a violin, couldn't afford a fiddle, but you know, I'd also mentioned harmonica because I'd like the sound. You know, I remember hearing it. You know, Willie Nelson songs and stuff like that. She went out and bought a 7-pack from Sears, and she put them in an Avon bag, and I still have that at the house somewhere. And that was it. Like I picked it up, and I strayed a few years every so often. Tried drums, which I learned a little bit. Tried guitar, which I'm god awful at. But harmonica always was there, and yeah, that was. I mean,
What year was that? How old were you?
I was like 10 when I really got the first set of harps.
Man, that's great.
Wow.
And then 15 when I really started trying to play out, you know, with friends and jam. But I was still playing like straight harp, like just kind of like blowing and, you know. It wasn't until I was about 16, 17 when a couple of guys back at Hilliard, you know, some good friends of mine, introduced me to Stevie Ray Vaughan
Yeah.
and the blues. And then I found out who James Cotton was. And after I found out who James Cotton was, it was off to the races for me. Yeah, he was my inspiration.
That'll blow and draw.
Yeah. I learned how to do the draw, and that changed my life. I mean, you know, it's a big difference.
Well, that's all of a sudden when you draw for the first time, it's like it scares you a little bit because you say, "I got soul."
Well, like so, drawing and then bending.
Bending
was
well. The
big.
draw always seemed to bend for me.
You don't. Yeah, they can bend, but you have to make it.
You
bend.
make it okay.
Yeah. And it's harder the farther you go up on the harp. Once you start hitting hole 7, hole 8, it gets incredibly difficult to bend. But down from like 1 to 6, it's where you live if you're a blues harp player. You know.
What brand do you prefer? Does it matter?
I try to pick. I try to be versatile because, you know, like every harp's different. Every harp sings differently to you. You know. But I will say the two that I love the most have been Hohner and Suzuki. Like for specific keys, like I have a D harp. I was just telling you about this last time we played. My D harp is probably my second most used harmonica because, you know, the key of D for harmonica players in blues is very prominent. And I've killed 3 of them playing with you. And one of them was a Suzuki. That was 3 harps ago was the Suzuki I killed.
Oh man.
And so, yeah, Pine Box killed the D stuff.
They didn't drop D all the time.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of cheap harps in between these two, and they all died quickly. And I'm thinking this was going to last. It's another Suzuki mouth organ, and the holes are just a smidge wider. It feels like the comb has just got more airflow through it. The Hammond mouth organs for the D harp is amazing, and you know, just it gets a better sound. You know.
You ever mess
Sounded
with
good the other night.
chromatics?
I did, and I realized I'm not talented enough for those.
Is that with the pump?
The button.
Yeah, those
Little button.
like you get some classical harp players like that guy Jason I was mentioning you earlier. Like he does jazz blues really, and he uses chromatics sometimes, and it's stuff you do with him is amazing. But I'm just not that guy, you know.
Well, on a standard harmonica like you play,
Yeah,
that's not a it's not a chromatic scale.
No, it's a
you're
diet.
missing some
yeah,
sharps and flats or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's where the strength is on the chromatica.
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, diatonic is just. I
Is that
don't-
what that is?
Yeah, these are all diatonic. I do have one pentatonic harp that I keep.
What is
around.
that?
It's another scale. You've got the diatonic scale and the minor pentatonic scale.
Okay.
And I actually, to this day, I've only ever used it for one song. I used to play with another band out in Shellman's Bluff at Hunter's Cafe, and their version of Midnight in Montgomery by Alan Jackson, it always would always call for a minor key like that, a pentatonic scale key.
Okay.
So. And it's strange. It's different. I haven't really mastered the pentatonic yet.
Well, now with the diatonics, can't you pull a G harp for anything in the song of G major and E minor?
Yes.
Because it's relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's relative.
This, but this Cross harp? What do you,
Yeah, it's called cross harp. Basically, whatever you're playing in, I'm 4 steps down from you. You know, and most of the time that's where I stay. But there are sometimes like it does better for you to stay in the same key and play it straight and try to get like there's one
more
song
blowing than
yeah.
than
There's one
drawing.
song you guys do. I can't remember that. Like I've done it with and played straight harp, and it's just got this real country sound, and it just works perfectly. Hit the walls correctly, and you know all of that.
So when y'all play together, do you tell him the key every time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my lifeline right there.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question, just from like a guitar player's perspective. You said you play in diatonic a
Yes,
lot.
sir.
Well, like a lot of like 12-bar blues and stuff. A lot of guitar you're
Is in
playing in
pentatonic.
pentatonic. And is that related to each other?
Well, some of the
You
key,
can play
but it's just-
diatonic over a pentatonic
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know enough about that to give you a correct
Right.
answer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Maybe
But it
that's why
works.
They smash
Yeah.
together.
I know that they'll give me a key, and I know where I've got to be at, and if it works, it works. That's the best. I wish I was more technically.
I
Well,
didn't
I'm
know.
the same
I've
way.
never,
I just know a little bit.
that's
Yeah.
the first time I've ever heard that most harps are diatonic.
Yeah, most you can obviously
Yeah,
buy
I just
pentatonic
I just
scale.
assumed that they were major blowing in, and then more the minor.
I think isn't it got like going up the scale kind of
Yeah.
blow, and when you draw, you're a half step up or something like that.
Yeah, it's
But every note of that.
No, it jumps around because it's not
like the-
chromatic.
I can't even wrap my head around that.
It's like a 2-hole, a 4-hole.
But for instance, like if I was playing G and he wanted to play straight harp, he would play G. Mm-hmm. But if he wanted to play cross harp, then he would play a D.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the notes
So cross harp.
Or no,
would be
I
more-
play C. It's G-A-D.
C.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
because the notes in the scale of G and the scale of C are the same.
Yeah.
A lot of them are.
Yeah. That's
Or
why you
most
can
of
play it
them
like
are.
that.
But if you're playing cross harp, you're doing more drawing than you are
Yeah, cross harp is specifically that. That's
You're
that
doing more
blues
drawing
sound you
than
get.
blowing.
Yeah.
I got you.
straight.
Y'all following this?
That's just the very little, the very very little line.
I think it's fascinating.
There's a lot. I do too. I love it. We've never had a harp player on
Oh
here
shit!
before.
I didn't know that. Okay.
There's a lot of drawing and blowing going on, boys and
we-
girls.
We've had Kyle plays harp, but he plays harp like singer-songwriter
Right.
around the neck, kind of. Just,
See, I envy those guys because I tried the neck thing. And I
You ain't
just,
got a need for envy, son. You are good.
I could barely play harp holding it, and not that I can, but I can fool around. And so 2020, I'm sitting on my ass. I'm like, I'm gonna buy some harp. I'm gonna buy every key of harp I need. I'm gonna get me one of the neck things. I'm gonna be Neil Young by this. And heck no, man, I couldn't do all
Well,
that.
it's kind of like it's
so awkward.
it's like I couldn't play bass and sing at the same time. My first instrument was
Yeah,
bass
I don't think I could
because
either.
of that boom 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 single note stuff.
I can't play
and
lead
singing
guitar
is a
and
whole
sing.
nother
Yeah.
adventure. Same thing with drumming.
Yeah.
I admire a drummer that can sing and play all
Yeah,
of
that's
them
crazy.
patterns at the same time. Same thing with harmonica playing. You're doing something up here and trying to think about what you're doing here.
Well, you know who's gotten
Blows my mind.
gotten good at it? Kyle's got a lot.
Kyle's
better
real
at
good at it.
it. Yeah.
see, I envy the guitar players though because, like, I mean, God, there's so much going on here. Like I've never been able. I've picked up an acoustic guitar and tried. It just doesn't rap. I can't get it to stick.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I can't. I've tried
better than
harmonica
me.
too, and I can't sing. So maybe it's a guitar harmonica.
Justin's a good blues guitar picker.
Oh, shit.
He can pick
we'll
can
have
pick
to
some
jam
leads.
later.
He played bass on Kyle Keller's album,
Yeah.
which he
Yeah.
recorded right here too.
Oh, beautiful setup. I love this. This is great.
Well, my first entry to the harmonica was my daddy sent me one from Vietnam in 1965
Vietnam.
for Christmas. It was about that big.
That's a keepsake.
And there's a picture of me sitting in my pajamas on Christmas morning at about, 13 years old, sitting on the couch with a short haircut. and thinking,
Thinking what?
I remember like that first set of harps I was telling you guys about. My grandmother, you know, my nanny is what we called her. She was very Christian, you know, very, very gospel, and you know. So when she got them for me, she's like, it was under the condition that I play with the choir, you know, and like get up there and play with the church and stuff like that. And it didn't last incredibly long because even though I hadn't figured out the blues stuff and I hadn't figured out the draw stuff, I still was figuring out like the little different things you could do, and they just weren't huge into changing Amazing Grace the way I was changing it and adding notes here or there. You know, so I played with them for like a couple of weeks, couple of Sundays, and they were like, maybe it's best if you just practice a little. Maybe just don't do that again, you know.
the devil.
Devil in that harmonica. You know?
Well, it is a blues instrument.
Yeah, it's country blues, you know. I mean, I've heard.
What is the history of a harmonica? Is that Germany?
Yeah, I mean, or Hohner, you know, originally. Made famous in the Old West, you know, by cowboys who didn't want to strap a guitar to their back, you know, easy pocket instrument. And then guys like Sonny Boy Williamson and Little Walter made it famous in the, you know, 40s and 50s. And that's a harp player. Matter of fact, I keep a picture of Little Walter on my phone at all times. That's my guy, you know.
Cool.
Little Walter.
Yeah, my babe. You know, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I love, I guess, my first, thinking back on all the shit I've heard, my first probably harmonica would have been John Lennon. I believe would have been really the first harmonica that showed itself to me in pop music on the transistor radio because
What they're that.
yeah, those first last night I said these words.
Not Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan came
All that,
right after
all
the
that
Beatles.
folk.
And it was right there together. And then, or unless you count, hey, hey, baby, the old blues, beach music.
They weren't playing like old blues back then, were they?
No,
It was more of,
no. I did not discover old blues till much later.
Well, blues kind of had like a, I don't know, like when your much later is, but like blues kind of like, it didn't like disappear, but it was like it fell down for a while there until like 1980, you know, when the Blues Brothers came around and kind of, there was this renaissance in the early 80s for a little bit. And a lot of the guys like Lightning Hopkins and Magic Dick and Ray Charles, and they all kind of came out the woodwork, you know. I mean, Ray was never unpopular, but he did kind of fall off there a little bit.
Yeah, I guess after John Lennon, it would have been, you know who taught John Lennon how to blow the harp? Delbert McClinton.
I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Really?
He was on a tour, one of them British tours, you know, when the Beatles were, before they made it big, you know, there was package tours over there. And Delbert McClinton showed John Lennon how to blow the harp. No, Delbert McClinton played the harp on that Hey Baby song by Bruce Chanel.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hey, baby, I gotta know if you'll be my girl.
I've heard that.
Did he
Beach
also
music
show John Lennon, or was that two different stories?
No, that was both
different
stories.
stories.
Because you're like, wait,
Bruce Chanel.
it was this instead.
Delbert McClinton was the harp player on Bruce Chanel's song. Delbert McClinton also showed John Lennon how to blow the harp.
And
That's the story I heard. Anyhow.
speaking, I wanted to put it out there too. I was thinking about it while we were sitting there. Another inspiration, really, too, just was Dan Aykroyd from the Blues Brothers. That was a big
and he really could play.
Yeah. I love that movie. I've watched that. I've wore out VHSs and DVDs.
That was for real.
You know,
That's good stuff.
That's Dan Aykroyd playing?
We're on a mission
that's
from
Dan Aykroyd
God.
playing. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's why I was so impressed by the Blues Brothers was like, they're actually singing, they're actually doing it.
How
Like,
about that
Gab
band?
Calloway, Donald
Yeah.
Duck Dunn, Steve Cropper. I mean, you're talking
Matt
about
Guitar
Matt
Williams.
Guitar Murphy.
Murphy. Me and Lynn saw him live in Atlanta.
Man, there's
Ooh, what was that? What was that singer's name? He was their booking agent, and I love him. He was on Carol Burnett a bunch too.
What
something-
singer?
In the movie, their booking agent is an old like lounge singer from the '60s or '70s, and I can't remember his name. Something Lawrence, I think.
Who?
Lawrence.
I think it's something Lawrence. I can't
Steve
remember.
Lawrence?
his name. No, maybe no. It's not Steve Lawrence. I loved him too. He had a great voice. I just remember him from Carol Burnett. He used to guest star on there a lot.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like Steve Lawrence. but-
Maybe it is Steve Lawrence. Maybe it is.
Steve Lawrence was married to Edie Gourmet. So if Edie Gourmet had married Warren Beatty, what would her name be? Huh? Come on. Okay.
Edie Beatty.
And if they had kids, what would they be called? Edie Beatty babies.
Oh man.
I can't remember who that was. In
Let me
that,
see if that's Steve Lawrence.
That might be Steve Lawrence.
American
had a-
singer and comedian.
he had a top 10 hit song in about 1961, 2 or 3.
That's the guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him.
It was "Go Away, Little Girl, Go Away, Little Girl."
Great singer.
Beautiful song.
Slime ball booking agent.
I love the best part of that movie is we're the good old boys.
I love that. Welcome to Bob's Country Bunker. We've got all kinds of music, country and western.
Anyway,
And the bull whip behind the chicken wire fence for
Yes.
rawhide.
Have you ever played behind a chicken wire fence anywhere?
Never.
Never. Oh, it's an experience. You know.
Have you?
No, I wish. I keep hoping to walk into a place. There's, if I see chicken wire,
say,
you
you
know.
was fixing to piss me off.
You son of a bitch.
Boy. Well, I admire you, son. And I admire all the things you've accomplished
Well, believe
already.
it or not, like
you know,
most of my real accomplishments have been in the last year. And I mean, like, I stopped playing for
that's
a long
about
time.
how long we've known each
Yeah.
other. It's about a year. And it was just like you snuck up, man. You were at Swamptown Get Down.
I was, yes.
And somebody had a need for a pickup band in a real hurry. And I believe it was Taylor Martin.
It was.
And he got up there and played what I can't remember that song that he did, but you were in sync and played it perfectly to go along with it. What I can't remember what it was, but
what was it?
that
I believe it was, I don't remember. It's probably ain't the right name of the song. It's like Chuba Chuba. It's a Grateful Dead song, if I'm correct.
I don't believe it had been Grateful Dead
No.
because I never did follow them too close. But this was a song that I knew and it impressed the hell out of me that you were that fluent with it and right on top of it and without anybody even knowing. It's so, just like I'm saying, man, you just weave into anything that you get in.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, no,
Well, I can't say it enough.
I put it down for a while, you know, like just personal reasons, had some stuff, you know, where I kind of stepped away from playing music real heavy and an opportunity arose about a year ago and I was like, you know, let me try it again. Let me get back out to open mic. Let's just have some fun.
How long were you off of it?
Oh God. Most of like 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Where I really just like, I played a little bit here or there. I'd go out with a few friends, maybe play with a band every so often, but wasn't really doing anything, pursuing anything with anything. You know?
Tell us about your first stage experience. What was that? Where was that?
God. First stage experience. So I want to say my first real stage experience was actually at a Sonny's barbecue in Fernandina. My Uncle Scott another big inspiration for me, really great guy, was playing with his band. They were opening up for somebody else, and I can't remember who the guy was. I know that the guy they were opening up for had met or played with Stevie Ray Vaughan way back in the day, and he was like a Christian.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. I mean, you know how it is with musicians, man. But I got up there, and I remember they only brought me up on one song. Like I helped roadie, and that was like, you roadie, and I get you in on like a song, maybe two. And I had Sweet Home Alabama, and I just tore it up from front end to back end, and then we get off, and I remember Michael Scott being like, you kind of played over everybody, right? I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just, and that was like I was telling you earlier, like I had to learn that pullback. But that was, it was a wonderful experience. And after that, like he would bring me up more, and King's Bar in Hilliard, Florida is another place I used to play a lot.
Treehouse?
Yeah, Treehouse. They were sneaking me in that place, underage, I hide out in the back during the sets until like, hey, Nick, it's time to come up, come inside, play 2 songs, sneak back out the back. He'd bring me a beer too, Yeah, it was.
How old were you when you did that Sonny's Barbecue?
Sonny's Barbecue was like 14 or 15. King's Bar was like 15, 16, and 17 on and off. And then after that, I played a lot of places. Atlantic Boulevard, the world famous Bull Tavern, and the Neighborhood Tavern is really where I started cutting my teeth on stage with a real blues band. That was out in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, I believe I've been to that bar.
Yeah, I played there with a band called Under Construction. Another harp player, actually named Dan Salvador, kind of took me under his wing, taught me a few things. Really good
Is that
guy.
where the stage is? You go in the door and it's right there?
Well, if you walk, at Bull Tavern, yes.
Yeah.
Neighborhood, you would walk through the door, and the stage was at the very back of the room, and there was a big pillar right in the middle of the front of the stage. So if you were in the middle, no one could see you.
How old are you now?
How old am I now? I'll be 32 November.
So you've been doing it on stage since 14.
14, 15, yes, I'm in that area.
And you're what?
I'll be 32 November.
32. All right.
17 years.
Yeah. Gosh, has it been 17 years? I thought it was like 15. I don't know. I failed math like 3 years in a row.
Man.
Me too. I feel
You don't need math to know this. Time flies when you're having fun.
Well, I don't know, I probably just like you guys, like I just always loved it. Like I got into it, and this is it. I want to be that guy. I want to play music,
So inspiration-wise, way back, I've talked to a lot of musicians, and they always get it from a young age. Most of them do. It's like they hear things, and you don't even realize it as a kid.
Yeah.
Until you get here and you can look back on it and say, I was sufficiently into much more than anybody else,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
did you have a background as far as like a grandparent or somebody that just channeled you?
So my father, and this was a big part of harmonica playing, musicianship, like into music at all.
Yeah.
A big part of it when I got older was, and before I say this too, just know I love my dad. He's great. There was a lot of years he wasn't there. He had, he wasn't really prepped to be a dad in the beginning, which is okay. We all go through that kind of stuff. And originally, him and my Uncle Scott were like these 2 male role models that I wanted in my life. And Scott was doing his best, and Dad, wasn't around. And I thought maybe if I learned an instrument, we'd have that connection there. And you kind of guess where that went.
Was Scott your daddy's brother?
Scott, no, he wasn't actually blood related. He's one of those kind of family friends, like an Uncle Dave. He was an Uncle Scott. I mean, he was just one of the greatest drummers I've ever played.
That was the guy you was telling me about.
Yeah.
On our ride over here. Scott, what was his name?
Scott Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And he taught me everything I know about rhythm. He taught me everything I know about learning less is more, pull back, become a part of the song. Don't be the song until it's your turn.
That was another big thing for me with you is like, yeah, you can blow the doors off, and then you can. I don't need to play on this part.
That's the dynamics.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's just like, okay.
You have to recognize when you're there as I'm going to try to like be the background, add little chirps here, little chirps there, little wah wah there, just the ambiance. But then when it's your turn to shine, I mean,
That's huge.
That
is
miles.
because dude, trust me, the first couple of times I was really getting up there and playing and really figuring out the draw and all that, like I was blowing over everybody. And like I was having issues with guitar players because of it. And they were pissy at me, and I'm just like, bro, I'm sorry, I haven't quite. I'm just, And like I can remember, one guy I won't mention his name, but we never actually physically had any altercation, but this was like, my 17, 18-year-old kind of part, where I was and still kind of figuring that out. I was getting better, but I hadn't quite figured out how to just be both background and learn to be a lead. He did not like, the fact that I got a bigger reaction on my leads than he did, and he eventually, because he was like the leader of the band that I was kind of jamming around with, they just kind of exiled me out. And I was like, oh, whatever.
Egos that do that.
I mean, it's fine,
That's part of it too. Well, let's watch this clip from 2014 here that I sent you. This is at the fabled Treehouse Lounge in Hilliard, Florida, where I've played several times.
Oh, goodness. This is from so long ago.
This is our buddies, Lanny Strickland on guitar.
Where you going, Bubba?
Where you going, Bubba? Bubba's fixing to come up there. That's Laney's brother. There he comes.
I still have that hat.
Now, Bubba's a harmonica too, as you can see by his belt around his waist. He didn't even bother on this song. He's just handling the
I
lead
thought of
vocals.
that. Like, how did you play with him up there? Playing?
And we know both these people.
Yeah.
We're good friends with both these people. Little Merle Haggard.
I'll drink a little beer in this tavern. I'll be a working man blue. Oh, keep my nose to the printers, don't work off
Laney is a fine guitar player.
He was always really cool when I got to meet him. Like him and Bubba both.
Yeah. I never forget the first time I met Bubba and said, "You're his brother." The guy's brother. Look at that dance. No, him. Bubba. He did the chicken leg. There he is, folks. Nick.
You said that's about 2014, something like that?
10 years ago.
Yeah, 2014. I don't think I've seen this video since 2014, to be honest with you. Oh, God.
You've had a decade since then. I know you should.
Oh, God. A lot of pressure.
I'll tell you what else he can do. He can cut some damn meat.
Oh, now I can't do that. Yeah, that's...
Tell us about your butcher. Did we talk about that already?
No.
No, we hadn't talked about it.
I know we talked about it in there. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we talked about it here.
What's your real gig, man? Come on.
So
Tell us about your day job.
Man, I got into meat cutting because of an Uncle Glenn that I had. God rest his soul, he's gone now. But I tried job after job, and man, look, you guys look at me. I'm not an outside worker guy. I don't do hot.
I don't do hot.
So, I started looking into meat cutting. I got into a meat department for a place out in Hilliard, and started closing for them. Within 11 months, I picked up their meat cutting position, and they had a guy come in and show me like 3 things, and he's like, "Here's a hat. You're certified. Good luck." And everything else, I kind of picked up YouTube and just started learning from YouTube and just cut meat. And now I'm, working here, the other place and such in Brunswick. And Yeah.
What's the hardest meat you've ever had to cut?
Well, by hardest, like you talking like challenging or
Yeah. Challenging,
well, kind of depends
most
on like
challenging.
I'd say tenderloins and sirloins are probably the most difficult. Probably sirloins because
How
you got
big is the meat you start with?
Well, so we don't do like the whole side. It's usually it's just cuts. Like they send us whole loins of different meats and we cut it from there.
Okay.
But like a sirloin, you've got to like take the cap off the bottom and you want to cut it in between the fat and the meat, so you're not taking any meat with the fat off. And the hardest part is learning all of the different things that come out of everything. I can take a bottom round and make like 15 different things if you want.
Wow.
I mean, you have to learn all that.
What is the machine called? The actual cutting machine? What is
Well, you got a saw, you've got a cuber, you've got a grinder.
Did you hear about the meat cutter that backed up into the cuber? He says, sorry, I got a little behind in my work.
Damn.
All right. Dad joke number 127.
127-B,
Dash B. Did you hear about the prisoners that was in prison and they had told the same jokes so many times that instead of telling the joke, they decided to shorten it into numbers. And the prisoners they all knew the numbers of the jokes. So they say like, they'd be sitting around, tell us a joke. And the ring leader would get up and say, 25. And they'd go, fall out.
That's a great one.
142. And this guy says, a newcomer to the penal colony said, can I try one? And they said, go ahead. He said, 47. Nobody said a damn word. He said, 65. Nothing. 203. Nothing. He said, God damn. He says, he looked at the ringleader. Ringleader said, well, some people just can't tell a joke.
No, man, I'm gonna have to try and work that. He was talking about my nickname earlier. Try and work that into the act somewhere at the karaoke stuff.
I saw that.
Your nickname?
Yeah, I have it on Instagram, but
It's
he
his
started calling
Instagram
me
handle.
the Whistling Butcher.
And dumb me, I'm pretty thick. So
2 C's.
I'm like making a joke the other night when he's playing with us. I was like, Nick, he doesn't have a nickname yet. I was like, his name's Nickname, And I was like, duh. And then I went back when I saw Instagram. I was like, duh, he's the Whistling Butcher.
The Whistling Butcher. I love that.
Oh yeah, because I'd given
like Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
I'd given him a nickname and Connor nicknames here recently. Like I called Connor Mr. Box Bash himself,
Box Bash.
Mr. Box Bash.
Or,
and he's made that his Instagram.
Yeah. Or Sean, the Waycross Wendigo Clark,
Wendigo.
I was like, good luck making that one stick.
What is Wendigo?
It's
That
like
is
That's like a Native American
god
spirit.
entity. A deer-headed giant.
Pet cemetery.
I try to.
I thought it was an RV. No, that's Winnebago.
It's a Native American horror movie.
I try to pick nicknames, especially when I'm doing the karaoke stuff for people like the bands and stuff that are cool to announce, So
I do. You do
I
good
try to get
with
that
that.
Michael Buffer thing going, So
Yeah, you're great on the announcing stuff too. With,
All right.
all right.
Yes, like, well, when you do stuff like that, people feel like they're being entertained.
Yeah, people enjoy
It's
that.
like, let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, it's the same thing as going on stage, right? If you're not having fun, then
Yeah.
they're not going to have fun. I mean, if you're up here like, and somebody's going to enjoy that,
Yeah, it comes off the performer.
Yeah. You can't like, I don't know if you guys have seen those bass player memes. You can't just be the bass player with the glasses on, like, just doing that number,
So, you're a daddy now.
Yeah.
You got a 13-year-old daughter.
Yes, I do.
And that's your little finger right there.
Yeah.
No, that's her little finger right there.
That's your little finger, Dave.
That's you right there.
Wrapped around her finger. Yeah.
That's you right
That's
there.
the truth.
I saw them pictures on Facebook when she was a little baby. I swear she's so tiny, and you just kick back on the couch, and she's like this right here, and you're just looking at her.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's a little Dorcas, that one. I love her to death.
13 years old.
She's just recently, like we talked about, it's like a musician's curse with their kids. She's just recently really started enjoying my music, and it's probably because she grew up hearing me playing the harp in the living room and outside.
Has she showed an interest?
A little bit here or there. She's more into singing than anything else.
Okay.
I know that she was looking into wanting to play like drums or something, but she's still young.
Give her a couple more years. She might segue into that.
Yeah.
An instrument or something.
Hey, her mom,
vocal, that's good too.
Yeah, her mom has a wonderful voice. Ashley could sing so well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her at karaoke one night when y'all were there. She was a great singer.
That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we ended up meeting, was at a karaoke matter. Well, we met before that, but we ended up started dating at a karaoke. She sang like, it was Deanna Carter, Strawberry Wine. I was,
Strawberry Wine.
Yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
We'll take a break and come back and play some music.
yeah, let's do that.
Was you gonna say something different?
No, I'm just echoing, seconding.
Okay. All right. Cool.
We'll be right back.
Something in my brain won't let me stray. Something in my veins gonna find its way. Something in the water taught me how to pray. When that cold black water finds its way into your veins, you'll never be the same.
Welcome back, everybody. We got Mr. Nick Solomon. What's his nickname?
The Whistling Butcher.
Woo-hoo! We got the Whistling Butcher fixing to whistle and butch. And tell us about this song, buddy.
This song is called Ghost Mammoth. I wrote it a couple years back. It's kind of just a fun, like, bluesy, country swamp song. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather kind of helped motivate me, like, to sing. Like, he used to tell us stories when I was a kid about the woolly boogers, and the swamp donkeys out there, And I
remember them.
Yeah. And I just had fun, like, thinking about it and wrote a song together. My brother actually composed it. He hates this song. He just...
We'll do it especially for him.
Yeah, especially to him.
What's your brother's name?
His name is Tyler.
Tyler?
Yeah.
Tyler Solomon. This is
Solomon?
for you. All right.
Ghost Mammoth.
Ghost Mammoth.
Woolly
Booger.
booger mammoth.
Ghost Mammoth.
Into the brush, out of the flame, soldiering on, nowhere to hide. Tusk long enough to impale a mane, but lust is ancient cause it's already died. Woolly and large, teeth that curse, torture soul toga only knows round. Beat by angels, suffocated by dust, toga wanders on no older than a count. Ghost Mammoth, forsaken by time, eternally disposed. Mammoth, lifted by the wind, he goes where it goes. Toga washed every one of them fall to the fear of the ancients, now a door spread. I move slow and the reaper don't call. Eyes wide shut, Toga dreams of death. Toga go wander earth searching for an inn. Treadmill living, watching ancients grow. Piling a boat in Georgia, my friend, where the alligators iron and the rattler don't go. Ghost member, forsaken by time, eternally disposed member. Call the wind, yes, he knows where it goes. Got no tomorrow, he's got no today. He remember his papa and his mother grave. Say, ghost member, forsaken by time, eternally disposed member. Looking for the wind, he knows where it goes.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Nick Solomon.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
What is a ghost mammoth?
Man, listen, I started off not knowing what it was, but I really did kind of figure it out later on down the road. And it started becoming like more than just a fun song after I wrote it. It became almost like a representation of everything that us as a society, as human beings, has kind of destroyed over the last 300-400 years. I mean, so many animals extinct, so many,
Okay.
you know.
Because mammoth, in my mind, is the old prehistoric creature.
Yeah, I mean, representation of
The
that. I mean,
elephant.
we drove them to extinction, you know. Know what a mammoth would be doing in a swamp like the Okinoki, I have no idea, you know. But
Like a swamp ape or it's a
Yeah.
cryptid
swamp ape, I heard that one a while too.
swamp donkey.
Y'all seen that swamp ape out there, man?
I love
Sasquatch.
it, man.
Sasquatch,
I love
Bigfoot,
it.
ghost mammoth, yeah. I need to get a ghost mammoth tattoo, actually.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Toga, yeah.
All right. What's next, boys?
Let's play Blood Ain't Thicker Than Whiskey. We've been rocking that one out. It might be a little hard without Connor.
It's a Pine Box Dwellers classic.
On the harp?
Was it up on the first time around?
Okay. Cool.
It's a Pine Box
I'm
Dwellers
gonna,
song.
while I'm playing this, I'll move this mic up a little bit. That's okay. I'm just gonna turn it right here. There we go.
What is it?
What's the name of it?
Blood Ain't Thicker Than Whiskey.
Blood Ain't Thicker Than Whiskey.
Say blood is thicker than water, but that ain't water in my glass. I got a brother who run off with my lover and I'd like to kick his ass. Well, I've been drinking since Tuesday, but now Tuesday's gone with the wind. I hate to be a bother, could you pour me another? It's the only thing that I got left. Blood ain't thicker than whiskey, love ain't thicker than dirt. I want a bad girl to miss me, so I can watch her hurt. But blood ain't thicker than whiskey, love ain't thicker than spite. We was thick as thieves or something up his sleeve, made you run off in the night. Blood I thought you was always gonna be my girl. I thought my brother had my back. You were both on a cover like some backseat lovers in a long black Cadillac. Well, I guess I should have seen it coming. How could I have been so blind? Hindsight 2020, and I thought about it plenty, and I guess it really never was mine. Blood ain't thicker than whiskey, love ain't thicker than dirt. I want a bad girl to miss me, so I can watch her hurt. My blood ain't thicker than whiskey, my love ain't thicker than spite. We was thick as thieves, or something up his sleeve may run off in the night. Blood ain't thicker than whiskey. Blood ain't thicker than whiskey.
Well, that didn't go as planned right there.
All
Yeah,
that.
my fault.
All that.
On my part.
All that with a broke B string.
God damn.
It was supposed to be a little quicker, but then I broke a string about the time I was going to kick it up a notch. So my bad on that part. I know that's how we usually do it. And then,
Hey,
so. But
still sounded good to me.
you saved it for us, man.
How about all that? You did the heavy part. You got the hard work.
Well, I'll tell you what. If that ain't blues,
If that don't make you Ric Flair up,
I got something clearing up, let me tell you.
if
Man,
that
I
ain't
got a
blues,
rash.
you can kiss my shoes.
Both shoes or just one
All
shoe?
both of them.
All both of them. All right.
Damn, that was nice.
I do love playing that song. I mean, I like playing any song I can get with them, especially. Like, we have a lot of fucking just fun on it. Like,
Well, it's like I've been saying since Saturday night. Y'all are good together.
let's
sir.
do one an E.
sure.
I don't even
And
know if
I
we've ever
hope,
played this
I
one.
hope you can work it out where you will be at the Graham Parsons Guitar Pool this weekend, October 19th, Saturday night. Pine Box Dwellers, 7:15.
Hey, you want to, I might be stepping out of line here. You want to do the tale of the week, and then we'll end with one?
Yeah, let's go ahead and knock this tale of the week out right here.
Let me get this out your way, boss.
That's good. Yeah, I'm good. You lay it down. Let me down easy. His career was like the songs he wrote. No flash, maybe a little understated, but deep with an abiding soul. Tony Joe White, master of swamp rock, was born July 23rd, 1943, the seventh of seven children raised in a shotgun shack on a 40-acre cotton farm in Goodwill, Louisiana.
He had to be a blues man.
Louisiana.
Seventh son and a
Goodwill, Louisiana. Ain't nothing good about it. I don't know that. He passed away unexpectedly on October 24th, 6 years ago, 2018, at the age of 75. Growing up near the Okefenokee Swamp myself, I immediately connected to 1969's Polk Salad Annie. The soulful sound and swampy imagery oozing out the dashboard radio speaker of our old Ford station wagon. Sounding like a black blues man, White rambled, grunted, and howled about a place where lived a girl, I swear to the world, made the alligators look tame. Whose mama, a wretched, spiteful, straight razor-toting woman, was working on the chain gang. Whose daddy was lazy and no count, and whose brothers was only fit for stealing watermelons. Lord have mercy. Polk Salad Annie was inspired after White heard Bobby Gentry's "Oh, let's just take a minute." Ode to Billy Joe. She ended up marrying Jim, the guy that played in Graham's teenage band, The Legends, down in Winter Haven. Went on to Branson, Missouri. You know, he had
married him.
Yeah, Jim.
I don't know his name.
She's got a real nice G-string from what I hear.
You know, he sang that song,
Nice legs.
Wildwood Weed.
Oh, Jim Stafford.
Jim Stafford.
Oh, just
Pardon me for my lapse of.
See, I knew that, but I didn't know.
She and Jim probably still married. Ode to Billy Joe, a song based on personal life experience relative to her home upbringing and the people she grew up with. Tony Joe knew a lot about growing up poor in rural Louisiana. He says, quote, "There were lots of times when there weren't too much to eat, and I ain't ashamed to admit that we often whipped up a mess of polk salad. It tastes all right, too, a bit like spinach." Salad, with a T,
Salad.
is an old English word meaning cooked greens. The song, recorded May 16, 1968, for White's debut album, Black and White, on Monument Records, with Billy Swan producing, languished in obscurity for 9 months, finally charting and rising to number 8 in the summer of '69. Elvis picked up Polk Salad Annie, singing during his live performances in the '70s and later recording a version himself. Prior to embarking on his songwriting career, White played clubs around Louisiana and Corpus Christi, down in Texas, doing a lot of Elvis and John Lee Hooker covers. After writing about Polk Salad, he turned his attention to another song, based again on personal experience. In the early '60s, he lived with his sister and her husband in Marietta, Georgia, where he worked as a dump truck driver for the highway department. Says Tony Joe, "When it would rain, I wouldn't have to go to work. I'd stay at home and play my guitar all day, sitting there watching that Georgia rain come down." Rainy Night in Georgia was written in 1967, based on those memories of Marietta. Originally released on White's second album, the song became Brooke Benton's comeback hit in 1970, topping Billboard's best-selling soul singles chart and reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Besides Brooke Benton, the song has been covered by Ray Charles, Tennessee Ernie Ford, Johnny Rivers, Hank Jr., Aaron Neville, Boz Scaggs, B.J. Thomas, and several reggae bands.
Conway Twitty, too.
Probably so. It's about as beautiful and melancholy a song that has ever been written. I used to play it in the mid-'70s in the Down Home Band with Eddie Middleton. I could close my eyes when Eddie sang, and I swear to God he sounded just like the record. In 1993, on my first visit to a Bourbon Street nightclub during Mardi Gras, Mike and Karen Woodard, Aunt Lynn, and I told the band we was from Georgia, and they regaled us with the soulful classic, making us feel right at home in 3 different states, Georgia, Louisiana, and drunk. In October of 2006, while in Nashville, Tennessee, to record the late, great Don Helms' haunting steel guitar on 2 tracks of the Newfanglers, Blood in the Pines. Now, if that don't get you butchering, I don't know what will. The Story of Hollis Shepherd. Mike and Pam Johnson, Sean Clark, Reed Bennett, and I all saw Tony Joe White on stage at 3rd and Lindsley. He strolled out, sat down with just his Fender Stratocaster, a blonde Fender amp, harmonica braced around his neck, and that soulful voice. That's all he's ever needed. It was one of the most intimate and soul-stirring performances I've ever witnessed. Upon Tony Joe White's passing, I posted a couple of sentences in his memory along with a YouTube clip of his 71 performance of Rainy Night in Georgia recorded live in Europe. Several folks commented on the post, but I think my dear friend and local singer, Bonnie Bickerstaff, said it best. She says, "What a great song, wonderfully written, not too wordy, no fancy words, but still conveys to the listener the exact feeling." That's how you write a song. Mm-hmm. I so agree with Bonnie. Tony Joe White knew well the life he wrote down in his songs. Those songs were as real as the dirt he walked on in Goodwill, Louisiana, as soulful as the voices who sang them, and as masterfully written as only the master of swamp rock could write. He said, "I believe it's raining all over the world." Oh, man. He was a good one.
I loved Conway and Sam Cooke's version.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
they got a great version.
Yeah.
We're going to close you out with this
Mm.
one. It's one I can play on a 5-string guitar. I'm packing my bags, ain't saying no goodbye, fixing my eyes where the road meets the sky. Don't know where I'll go, but I know I ain't been there. No, this ain't no home for me now. I've seen the signs out there on the roadside, leading my mind down a lost highway. I follow along the road, I know I will be fine. No, this ain't no home for me now.
say no goodbye. Fixing my eyes where the road meets the sky. Don't know where I'll go, but I know I ain't been there. No, there's ain't no home for me now. No, there's ain't no home for me now.
Whew. Folks, that's gospel.
Heck yeah.
I just want to say this right here and now in front of everybody. I want that one played at my departure. Right there.
Let me know when you decide to depart.
Give you a
Give us
heads
a
up.
heads up. Yeah, if you can. Like, hey guys, this is it.
You'll know when it happens.
I'll be running through the airport like, which gate?
Where's he going?
You'll know when it happens. I'll be the first.
I hope I don't.
I'll be the first to call you.
You call me and go, it's not real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
No, I'll be saying, hell is real.
Nothing is real.
Hell
Well,
ain't as bad
folks,
as they said it was.
On that beautiful conciliatory, oh God, heart-tugging song, we're going to leave it with you one more time. And thank y'all for watching. Number 99, we're so close now. We're so close. Number 100 is coming out November the 1st, and we're going to be right there back with you again in a big special way, a big fancy celebration with balloons and cake and all kinds of text messages and audio messages and videos from all the past guests on our podcast.
TikToks and click clacks.
Woo!
Is there gonna be,
It's going to be so good.
is there gonna be dancers in the cake or anything?
Oh, there's dancers, all right, but they won't be in the cake.
That's okay. That's okay.
We will have some dancing going on, I grant you. But anyhow, we love y'all. We thank you for watching and appreciate you hanging with us. Number 99.
And thanks, Nick, for coming on and
Thank y'all for having me.
being our first harp player.
Appreciate it.
If there was another harp player, I apologize.
I think it said it took y'all 99 episodes to get to a harmonica player. Like,
We're running out of ideas.
Something's wrong with the equation.
We're thinking accordion. I don't know, like
maybe some like bagpipes pretty soon. I mean,
We thank you. Peace, love, subscribe.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate.